Hi, I have 200 hours in the Long Dark, and now I will criticize this game in a monotone voice for hours as your second screen. So, what's the gameplay like? Unlike a lot of other survival games, here you mostly loot from the old world. And because of this, you have to constantly explore and move on and loot new locations, and this will become very important later. A lot of the time is spent looting, and I just love the part of this game when you are just walking around the location, looking under or over stuff and collecting items, and if I mess up and miss important shit, it's my fault, and the art style makes items blend in with the environment, and on top of that you have these hidden locations, like this metal pipe you have to crawl in to find a gun. But then there is this. You spend so much time doing this in the game, and I can feel the atmosphere fade away with every click and hold, and click and hold, another click and hold, and god fucking damn it, why do I have to turn on Twitch to not be bored to death? Because there is nothing else going on. I am a safe place, there is nothing that can hurt me, so remove this, just make me search them all at once, similar to the way you cook or the way you harvest meat or something. Because if devs wanted to take time, that's fine, but holy shit, it's so fucking bad. And looting cars is the worst. First you have to get in the car, then you search, then you have to get out, then you have to get back in to the backseat and then get the fuck out. It takes 5 clicks and holds per car. Looting outside is better, because you are not safe when you do it, but you cannot eat human flesh or steal their shoes, even if they have the best gear. But you can eat the same animals off the floor, so makes sense.
The four nations live together in harmony.
When you look at this world, at the surface it looks amazing. It looks open, you got the basic stuff, cabins, logging sites, and a lot of amazing unique locations like dam, prison, boat, crashed cargo, a lot of crashed cargo, and most of the time it's gonna be cabins, but that's normal. The problem is everything looks the same. I have no idea where I am based on environment, making navigation in this plain white sea a pain in my ass. Everything is just frosted trees and hills with an occasional lake, and I think I know only one unique location, and that is Ash Canyon, because the trees are black. But that's it. There is so much missed potential here, because you can have colder and warmer climates. It could be based on height. Some places can have trees without frost, some can have these cool ice spikes. And I'm so sad these are not in the game because it looks so cool. Also you can have different types of trees, different cabin types. And on top of that, there are almost no usable signs or one of these things. And of course, you know, if the sign is there, it's like dialogue options in Fallout 4. You might think you can choose between, you know, prison and a village, but no, it's simply blocked. And when everything looks the same, yeah, it's time to talk about world navigation. So you got a map, but you cannot use the map. You only get the satellite view of the entire region, and that's not completely true per se. But in order to have a map, you first have to walk through the entire fucking map and scribble with charcoal. Yes, in order to have a map, you first have to explore the entire fucking map, making the map fucking useless. Another thing, you might have heard of it, because it's the most basic shit you have in every game, compass. In this game with a gigantic map, where not getting lost is the difference between life and death, you just don't get the most basic shit for navigation since the fucking, I don't know, 10th century. I have no fucking idea where it was created. Now you might say that it's a part of the difficulty of getting lost in this harsh and cruel world. I disagree. The game is based around island hopping from one safe place to another, but without a map and a compass, you can only rely on memory. And I just don't think it's interesting when my survival is just a test. If I correctly remember directions to the next safe place in a sea of white trees with no difference in environment. So if you remember what I talked about at the start, is that survival depends on you getting to new locations for loot. But you cannot do that. you have to remember from your previous game where to go, and that just sucks. And what is weird is that this game has these ion magnetic storms. They fuck up electricity and magnetic shit, and they could disable the compass, nerfing it sometimes, so you cannot rely on it completely. Not to mention, nobody has left any maps behind. In this game, it's an illusion, because this game has invisible barriers surrounding every region, so you can only cross to another region through a very specific loading screen, because the game can't render shit, so it's not a really open world. If you start walking in any direction, in a while you will inevitably hit a wall, so you don't get that important feeling of a map you can explore on your own. The world stops feeling like a real place and instead a box it really is. And if you think what I am talking about is rare, let's take Green Hell as an example. Where guess what? You have a compass, a map, and you can walk from one side of the map to other seamlessly, with naturally looking hills, caves and obstacles, without any loading screens. Like, imagine how it would feel like in Stranded Deep if before you get near another island, a loading screen pops up and then you can go to another island. And these loading screens are required because apparently this was made using some shit like Creation Engine, so they can't load the entire map. So they fixed it by making every region its own little box with a few loading screens that lead to other boxes. And mechanics are not really that much better. Fire starting. Your guy is a lobotomite that has no idea how to start the fire, and it's based on luck, so even at a skill level 3, after starting a fuck ton of fires, it's still 65% chance to start a fire. So I have to watch this lobotomy survivor burn one match after another, and it's so infuriating because this could simply function like it does in real life, where the wood gets hotter and hotter the more you fail, making the next attempt easier, thus eliminating what you are watching right now. Guns are done pretty well, and I love it when guns work correctly in games. But the amount of weapons you find and ammo is the problem. In my Getting Footage playthrough, Stalker difficulty, in 14 days I got 3 revolvers, 4 rifles and enough ammo to kill everything in sight. Or I could ship it to Ukraine to supply a trench assault on my own. But there is more to hunting than guns. Like rabbits, you hunt them by throwing rocks, and I feel so dumb having to play aim labs in this survival game. It would be so much better if you could simply catch that fucker, because you are faster than them, but no, you can't. And even if you catch them, the game sometimes thinks I want to chuck another rock, and he runs away. And in this clip you can see how I got jumped by a wolf because of this. It's not even exclusive. Here I am directly at the prompt to search this, but no, the game thinks I wanna shoot my gun for some reason. And the weirdest animal in this game? Moose. These things don't bleed out. Yes, you heard that correctly. For some reason this animal has infinitely regenerating health. Why, you might ask? I don't fucking know. And that's not all. For example, flare gun. You might think, oh, it's the starter shit gun for scaring animals. Nope. This monster is the strongest gun in the game. It not only damages the same as a rifle, it stuns enemies, making them unable to fight back, and it makes this survival game look like a joke. Like, I don't even know what to say about this. It kind of speaks for itself. And it's even more stupider because of how slow those flares are. You can kill him in 3 fucking hits. I personally think that the way to go here is make bullets rare, but at the same time make them deal normal damage. And difficulty selection sucks ass as well. The difficulty in this game goes from I have enough ammo to supply an assault APC team and enough food to last me 7 days in my inventory. Also, I can't even remember the last time I was called at Stalker difficulty. And the next difficulty is Interloper, and the average experience is like this. I have no guns, no spare food, I can only craft an axe or a knife, and only dream about any guns, and wolves are swarming everywhere. So if I wanna start another run, it's either suffering or I am bored out of my mind. And even using custom game creator doesn't solve this, mostly because the resources go from a fuck ton and almost nothing, so... I am not talking about the story mode, the DLC, because holy shit, it makes me appreciate reading notes in the base game. And the game is straight up missing an ending. You can only die and that kind of sucks. Just let me, rebuild a ship or a car or have some difficult challenge to make. And it doesn't even have to be like a happy ending. The screen can just say you escaped, and if you survive, that can be left for imagination. And of course it wouldn't be something that everybody has to do, just something, because the game kind of has nothing. It's kind of just like, yeah, you survive until you die. Health is pretty good besides small things, like me drinking a little amount of coffee and just chilling, like I wasn't awake for the past few days. And of course, drinking a single energy drink gives you a headache and an energy crash, of course. So the creators are biased as fuck. And for fuck's sake, can this lobotomite stop breaking all his limbs by dropping 1 meter into soft snow, or not get a sprain walking on a slight decline? And if you think this would make the game too easy, how about he will be no longer capable of just scaling down gigantic mountains without getting hurt? I just don't get why it's luck based if my legs break or not. Just make the rocks around cliffs slippery, that's realistic. Crafting is present, and by that I mean the most recipes require the item to wait indoors for days, and I really don't get the realism thing here, because all it does is it takes so fucking long to use anything. And when researching, I found out there is a whole bunch of very important stats and effects that you will never know exist unless you read the wiki, so that's nice. And environmental hazards are a joke. Wow, this bridge sure looks scary. With this many loose planks, it's definitely gonna be harder than just auto-walking with no input. Oh, this bridge is broken, I have to walk carefully on this middle plank, or I might die, scary. I hate this because it's just an illusion of danger. It's not anything real, even if it easily could have been. Snowstorms are weak as shit. Snowstorms in real life cover you with snow, then that snow melts and then freezes on you. Here it's a little colder and you can't see that far. Blizzards are scary in real life. Strong wind with the weight of massive waves of snow that smash into you. It makes even walking difficult. But in this game, Blizzard is my best friend, because all enemies despawn and I can safely travel at the cost of little health to the next location. And in this specific clip, you can see how I got from barn to the farmhouse. Next is falling through ice, and doing this in real life will send you into shock, killing you instantly. And if you do survive, you have to crawl out in soaked clothes. And as a bonus, if you do survive all of that, you have to walk back to a warm location as your clothes will freeze on you and you will die in 10 minutes. So here you get a little wet, tank a bit of damage and magically survive. And this is still a deadly killer today. Like hundreds of people die yearly because of this, but for some reason it's fine here. And I just don't get the nerve, like why would you do this? I am really struggling to understand. Bugs. This game is buggy. For example, in my previous game, I thought this was an invisible barrier and I died because I didn't know you can explore this prison, but no, it's just a bug. And what's worse, it's consistently bug. So if you want to go here, you will always have to do this smashing against an invisible wall if you want to pass. Here I am just lagging, jumping up and down, like those 100 cups of coffee just hit my brain. Here I am getting stuck in terrain. In this game, when you are just walking around, you will be stopped all the time, and it's so annoying that he's incapable of just stepping over a 5 cm twig on the ground. Then we have Ghost closing doors to save this game from having too much acids loaded at the same time, and it was kinda creepy at 5 AM. Textures sometimes just don't align with hitboxes, and levitating objects are not rare. And here, the floor is fake. And what is worse is there is loot here, so I have to take this slow ass walk only to fall right through again. This Timberwolf thinks he can attack me, but because he is alone he can't. So he constantly comes over and screams at me again and again, slowly driving me insane.
He's doing it again. This bitch is coming again to do hee in my fucking face again. Holy shit. No! You fucking bitch! Get over here! Get your ass over here!
Also, fire can shine through roofs and create this, and that's, you know, pretty unimmersive. I have no hope for these developers or the new game they are making, because this game has been in development hell for such a long time, and they should just focus on the sequel or something, because if you look at the amount of progress these devs made, it looks like they worked 5% of those 10 years of development. Since early access, let me remind you, because the base game still feels like early access with pretty graphics. And what you're watching right now is that early access. And to be fair, the only thing I see that they changed is the fucking UI. And to be fair, the graphics are good, and if this game was really open world, it could be good, but considering the speed of development, it will be outdated by the moment it comes out. So it's a somewhat decent game, but after my playtime there is nothing more for me to do, except to memorize the entire map and play Interloper, and it is just not fun. So, you made it to the end. Please remember that all my opinions are objectively correct and not subject to any discussion. And I will also be streaming on Twitch sometimes. I'm kind of just doing that shit to just